Has anyone ever explained to you what a pension is? Probably not, and that's not your fault, it's completely okay. But I'm going to explain to you in this video the three main types of pensions in basic, so you have a better understanding and framework to understand more about pensions. I'm Ryan, I'm a chartered financial advisor, and I help people just like you make informed decisions about what to do next. First and foremost, the state pension, e.g. the government pension. It's paid to you when you reach state pension age, which is set by the government. It's rising from 67 to 68, and by the time someone like me and you reach state pension age, it's probably going to be 70 plus. Who knows? Typically, it's linked with inflation, so it should rise every year to compensate for the rising cost of goods in the UK. At the moment, it's about £230 a week, e.g. £12,000 a year in income, guaranteed income. The way you kind of get access to this pension is by making national insurance contributions throughout your working career, whether you're employed, self-employed, and own a limited company. You need a minimum of 10 years. There's different rules around that, but that's how you start. The second one is a workplace pension. Now, this is one you're probably familiar with. They have lots of different names. Sometimes they're called stakeholder, sometimes they're called personal pensions, group personal pensions. There's literally loads of different names. Basically, it's the same thing. It's known as a defined contribution scheme. So think workplace pension, think defined contribution. What that means is you don't get a guaranteed income. It's based on you making a contribution because you have to, or you're automatically auto-enrolled into your workplace pension. So you're paying 4 or 5%. Your employer pays in, which is great because this means free money, and some employers actually match your contribution and exceed it, making it really good for you. And then you get tax relief on this. Now, the tax relief depends on how they've set the scheme up. You've got something called a net pay arrangement, or basically relief at source, and then you've got salary sacrifice. Salary sacrifice is better because you don't just save on income tax. So if you're a basic rate payer and you're paying £80 a month, you would get an extra £20 or 20% relief. If you're a high rate taxpayer, then you'd get an extra 40 quid, which is free money, and then your employer's matching that. But that's another video. These are really good pensions. The benefit of this is it also gets to be invested, and I'll explain that later in this video. So we've got the state pension, we've got your workplace pension, also known as a defined contribution. You can also set your own pension up, and that's called a self-invested personal pension. E.g., you choose the provider, you choose the investments, you choose how much goes into it. And that can be really helpful if you chop and change jobs, because you can bundle them together, a process known as consolidation. Now, the third pension is the one where it gets a bit complicated. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of it, you just need to be aware of it. It's called a defined benefit, also called a final salary pension. And it pays you, your future self, a future income that's guaranteed. And the rules about how much you get paid, it's dependent on how long you stayed at that company, how much you were being paid, and then each company has their own kind of calculation that even I can't work out. It's based on their own rules. So if you work at the NHS, you might have something like the NHS pension, known as the 2015 Care Scheme. And so depending on how long you work there, depending on how much you were earning, depending on what type of role you're doing, you'll get paid a certain amount, typically around 65 years of age. And most of the time, that's a guaranteed income that's linked with inflation. So you'll have this guaranteed income from your career, from this defined benefit final salary pension, and then you get your state pension, which is incredible. So it's a lot of guaranteed income for the rest of your life, for future you to make, either good or bad decisions or somewhere in between. So there you have it. We have the three core types of pensions. We've got the state pension, the government pension. We have the defined contribution, also known as the workplace pension. Yes, you can set your own one up called SIP, and there's different names. And then you've got the defined benefit, final salary pension, like if you work for the council, like if you work for the NHS. Now, what you do with the middle pension, your workplace pensions, your self-invested personal pensions, the ones you manage, is really important because it's a defined pot. It's not guaranteed income. You build up a huge sum of money throughout your career that you then rely on, and you get to dictate the terms of how you take that money when you reach retirement age, which is different from state pension age. State pension age is set by the government, so is retirement age. Retirement age at the moment is 55 when you can access these pensions. rising to 57. The cool thing about this is that type of pension, these type of pensions, you get to choose the investments. Some providers have really limited options. You set your own one up, typically there's thousands of funds. So you get tax relief, you get your employer matching, and then the money's invested, and then it grows in a tax efficient environment, e.g. there is no tax to pay on the gains of that money as it goes up in value, which is incredible. And I'll show on screen the effect of £100 being invested a month with nothing in terms of growth for the next 30, 40 years. And then the equivalent of you paying in £100, but it growing by say 8% a year over the next 30, 40 years. The difference here is incredible. And it can make a real difference to your life going forward. The other beautiful thing about these pensions is you've got something called Pension Commencement Lump Sum, PCLS, where you get to take something called tax-free cash, 25% of that pot. So if you had £1 million in this pension, you can take £250,000 out of it without paying any tax. And then you get to dictate, going forward from that remaining pot, how much income you want. You still get your personal allowance of, at the moment, $12,570. You get to set the terms on what type of investments you have, how much you take, and ultimately, you get to control it. Hopefully that's been helpful. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment box and I will respond to them.